Are you struggling to manage your type 2 diabetes after age 50? If you answered yes to this question, then today's video is for you, because I am going to discuss with you 7 reasons why beating diabetes gets harder after age 50. And more importantly, towards the end of the video, I'll discuss with you some strategies that you can start using today to help get those blood sugar levels under control so that you don't have to suffer complications with increasing age. All right, so let's get straight into the video. Reason number 1 why it gets harder to beat diabetes with increasing age is muscle loss. Right now, with increasing age, sometimes you have promotions at work, or for whatever reason you're not as active, and as they say, when you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're not using your muscles as much, you're going to gradually lose your muscle mass. Right, it might be just, having a job that no longer requires you to walk all around, or it might be that you have bad arthritis and so you physically are unable to walk around. Whatever it is, not using the muscles means that you're going to have more sugar, more glucose floating around in your bloodstream. Your muscles are the organ in your body that's going to use up a big chunk of all the energy from your food. And even if you're not moving, just having muscles that are bigger means that you're going to be sucking up more of that glucose even during sleep, because the muscles need to stay alive, and so they're always using some amount of energy. If as you get older, you're having more and more muscle loss, your muscles are basically shriveling up slowly but surely over time, then you're eating the same amount of food, the same amount of glucose is coming in. If it's not being used, it's going to build up in your bloodstream, and you're going to find yourself needing higher doses of medicine and newer medications as well to help keep those blood sugar levels under control. So sometimes it's muscle loss, and it might not be obvious, because if there is some amount of fat gain, so you're gaining weight, you're gaining extra fat, but you're losing muscle, and if you're gaining more fat than the amount of muscle you're losing, your weight may stabilize, so you might not realize that you're losing muscles because your weight is not going down. Okay, so that's a sort of hidden reason why it might be getting more difficult to control your diabetes as you get beyond the age of 50, right? Second reason is having a stressed liver. Now, a healthy liver is very important in terms of regulating your energy levels, right? All roads lead to the liver from digestion. So when we eat our food, and all the nutrients in the food that we eat, everything heads straight to the liver from the gut, from the intestines, and in the liver, everything is packaged for distribution to the rest of the body. Now, if your liver is not working properly to process the energy, including glucose, including sugar, if your liver cannot process that, package it, and distribute it where it needs to go, store it, etc., then it's going to back up into your bloodstream, and your blood sugar levels are going to be high. What stresses the liver? What causes a stressed liver? Well, irritation, whether it be from medications, whether it be from infections like viruses, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or whether it be irritation because the liver itself is congested with fat. This is fatty liver, right? So if over time there's been increasing deposits of fat in the liver, then the liver in general is going to be congested. It's going to struggle to do what it has to do. It's going to be irritated and stressed, and so blood sugar levels can go up because of that. Now, fatty liver is something that is seen in the modern diet, modern way of eating with a lot of starch. But classically, alcoholics were the ones who had fatty liver disease, and alcoholics generally will go on to develop diabetes. So this has nothing to do with them eating a lot of sugar, but just the fact that they have fatty liver that causes an alcoholic to develop diabetes in the future, right? So it's the same mechanism, it's the same way that having a stressed liver makes it harder in general for blood sugar levels to be normal, okay? Third reason why beating diabetes gets harder beyond age 50 is medications. Now, in society in general, it's a medicated society. So that's just how the system is set up for you to get a pill for every little ailment that you have. And oftentimes, unfortunately, pills get prescribed, new medicines get prescribed, and they get refilled, and nothing ever gets taken away. And so you end up in a situation where you have more and more and more medications as you get older, okay? And unfortunately, some of these medications, though they might treat a problem, they might create a new problem. And sometimes the new problem that's created, it's created very, very slowly. Now, some medicines for high blood pressure, some medicines for cholesterol, steroid medications, some medicines for mood disorders and mental disorders can affect how your body processes glucose, how your body processes sugar. And like I said, this effect can be a small effect, but if you keep taking these medicines and multiple medicines as well, so you have this effect over time, increasing and compounding. And if you're taking medications year after year, decade after decade, you can only imagine that eventually this microscopic effect becomes a very obvious effect, and it starts to visibly impact your blood sugar, measurably impact your blood sugar. Okay, so medications are a reason why it might be more and more difficult for you to manage your blood sugar because of side effects of multiple other medications that are not necessarily related to diabetes itself. Okay, fourth reason why it might be pretty difficult, might get harder to beat diabetes with increasing age, is having a condition called sleep apnea. Now, this is a condition that's classically seen in people who are, if you're overweight, you're more likely to have it. But the fact is, at any weight, you can have sleep apnea. And one of the clues that somebody might have sleep apnea is if they snore very loudly while they sleep, okay? Or a sleeping partner might notice pauses in your breathing. And what happens is that whenever your breathing pauses, and this happens when the airway essentially collapses and it closes off. And so you have a pause in your breathing, and then eventually you are triggered to wake up once the levels of carbon dioxide in your blood build up and the oxygen levels go down. That in some people happens multiple times per minute. And you can imagine if your body's undergoing this stress where oxygen levels are going down multiple times throughout the course of the night, that's a very stressful condition. Any stressful condition is going to cause your body to make steroids, right? That's the stress hormone, and having excess steroids in your system is going to cause your body or tell your body to make more sugar. So during your sleep, because of stress, you're making sugar in this stressful situation, and this is worsening your diabetes with increasing age if the sleep apnea is not diagnosed or if it's not treated properly. Okay. Fifth reason for diabetes being difficult to control as you get on in age is having a pancreas. If your pancreas does not work properly, okay. Now, the pancreas, of course, is responsible for making insulin, producing insulin, which is what takes sugar out of your bloodstream and into the cells where it is used for energy. Okay. Now, if your pancreas, for whatever reason, is not making it, it's not able to make insulin, so you don't have anything to take the glucose, the sugar, out of your blood and carry it into the cells. Why would the pancreas not be able to make insulin, right? Well, two main reasons. One, the pancreas gets burnt out. So over years and years of really stressing the pancreas to make insulin in response to all the sugar and starches that you may be consuming year after year, decade after decade. So your pancreas has worked really hard for the first few decades of your life, and it has worked so hard that it gets tired by the time you're 50 years of age, and it can actually burn out, so to speak. It's worked so hard it cannot work anymore. The cells that produce insulin have conked out essentially, and so you now need insulin externally. You need insulin injections to help pick up where your pancreas cannot. Okay. Another reason, in addition to the pancreas being burnt out, another reason for the pancreas not functioning properly is if the pancreas is congested with fat. So just like you can have a fatty liver, you can have a fatty pancreas. And this is something that we see not infrequently really on CAT scans. We order CAT scans for people for a variety of reasons. We might order a CAT scan of the abdomen, and in the report from the radiologist, they will mention fatty infiltration of the pancreas, or pancreas is replaced by fat, greatly replaced by fat, right? So you can pick up this on the CAT scan. And just like how having fat congesting the liver makes the liver stress and makes it not work efficiently, the same thing happens with the pancreas, where the fat essentially clogs it up and makes it difficult for those cells to do the things that they need to do, including produce insulin, right? So a stressed pancreas is one of the reasons as well for having difficult to control blood sugar as you get older, right? Sixth reason is following outdated information. And this is actually a pretty common reason. Unfortunately, in medical school, there's certain things that I was taught, and maybe even now medical students are being taught this. I know some dietitians are learning outdated information still, and this includes information like, diabetics should count their carbs, and there's no education about the type of carbohydrates, right? So counting carbs doesn't matter if the carbs that you're taking in and counting are those refined carbs or carbohydrates, starches that are going to turn straight to sugar in your bloodstream, right? You must consider, okay, is this a complex carb? Is this a carbohydrate that comes with a lot of nutrients? It comes with fiber, okay? So it's the quality of the carbs and not the total amount of carbohydrates that should be considered. Another thing that a bit of outdated information is similarly counting calories. It doesn't matter counting calories, you have to consider the quality of the calories. So you might have 100 calories of bread and 100 calories of nuts, for example, but those are going to do two totally different things to your body. The 100 calories of bread is going to give you pure sugar, whereas the 100 calories of nuts is going to give you maybe a third sugar, a third fat, a third protein. So it's a more balanced, and you're going to get some minerals and vitamins from 100 calories of nuts, right? So you must consider the quality of your calories, just like you must consider the quality of your carbohydrates and not just the quantity, the total amount of grams that you're taking in, right? And then another bit of outdated information is the way diabetics are told to eat small amounts more frequently and balance everything out over your waking hours, okay? Eating small amounts very frequently means that you're going to be working your pancreas and your liver very frequently. These organs already might be stressed, and if you're working them so frequently, that's going to increase their stress, and therefore they're not going to be able to keep up with handling the sugar going into your bloodstream. Instead, you want to consider eating what you need to eat all at once, taking a longer break, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and eating all you need again, midday, and then at the end of the day. So you want to have what you want to eat all at once instead of more frequently, okay? So that there's less stress on these organs. And then the last reason why your blood sugar might be worsening with increasing age is just kind of having a negative outlook and maybe expecting things to worsen. So unfortunately, the message is that, hey, diabetes is a chronic lifelong condition. There's no way to reverse it. You can't get rid of it. Expect it to get worse. Expect to need more medications as you get older. And unfortunately, that is, it goes kind of with outdated information, right? But having that negative outlook, unfortunately, is going to cause your condition to worsen, because what you expect is what's going to happen, right? So you have to instead fight for what you want, okay? Fight for control, fight for domination of this diabetes, fight for control of your blood sugar levels, okay? Fight for reversal of this type 2 diabetes condition to whatever extent, maybe not full cure, but certainly reversal to where you're needing less medications, okay? So having a more positive outlook is something, right, where you expect to get better rather than expect to get worse, and that can actually help you to beat this condition with increasing age, right? So, I mean, those are the 7 main reasons why I say that, beating diabetes gets hard after age 50. But obviously, I already alluded to some of the strategies that you can employ to make this condition better, to dominate this condition with increasing age. For muscle loss, what you have to do is go out of your way to try to maintain the muscle mass that you have, and maybe even increase it somehow. That would mean that you're lifting, where you're putting pressure on your muscles so that they can actually grow. Okay, or certainly just try to maintain the muscle mass that you have. For stress liver, you want to look at the medications you have. Maybe you have untreated viral hepatitis, okay? And also you want to really look at how you're eating so that you are not bombarding your liver every couple of hours. Same with your pancreas. You don't want to bombard and overwork your pancreas just every couple of hours, okay? If you could have sleep apnea, if you snore loudly, if your partner tells you that you're waking up often to catch your breath during your sleep, you want to go to a sleep specialist and see, hey, do I have sleep apnea? Do I need this treated? Okay. So these are just some of the things that you would want to consider, and just to know ultimately that, hey, type 2 diabetes is a condition because it's generally a lifestyle condition. It's a condition that can be tackled and even reversed to an extent, right? Different for different people, but it can be tackled if the lifestyle condition that promoted it in the first place is dealt with and improved. And generally the message that I want you to take away from this is that with small steps, right? Small steps consistently can take you very far in terms of improving your health. So I want you to have hope that this is a condition that can absolutely be managed, can absolutely be reversed, and there's absolutely no need for you to take bunches of medicines for the rest of your life. For those of you who might want a little hand-holding in a group setting to start getting on the road to mastering your blood sugar levels, you might consider joining my Control Your Blood Sugar Challenge, and you will find a link to that challenge in the description below. If you found this video helpful, definitely share it with somebody who would find it helpful too, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.